Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to integrate Cisco Unity Connection with Cisco Unified Communications Manager. This is just my home lab. I don't have anything, no major hardware, just 32-bit Dell SC420s and 4 gigs RAM, nothing too powerful here. Um, and for simplicity, this is more, for studies for the CCNP voice exam. I originally had some videos on version 7, which I never ended up posting because by the time I got those done, they had moved to version 8 and are changing their curriculum around. So now on that same note, I don't have the hardware to run Unity Connection 8.5 yet. But for now I'm running it on 702 and I do have Call Manager 8.5, so we'll be using that in this example, and there's really not that much of a difference, so if you learn one, you'll know the other version as well. They just have different features and whatnot. And also for simplicity, this is pretty much a fresh install of Unity Connection and Call Manager, with the exception I've already added some phones in there. Um, so there's no device pools, calling cert spaces, or partitions set up. Those come into play when you configure the voicemail as well, but since we're not using any, we're just going to use the default none. Again, it's just for simplicity. Best practices is you're going to have partitions and calling cert spaces specifically for Unity and CUCM integration, um, but this is just this video is just intended to show you how to get it set up, and then if you want to make it more complex and secure, you can certainly do that. So to begin, we're going to start off here in the Cisco Unified Communication Administration page and set up our voicemails, and then we'll go into Unity Connection to integrate it, and then we'll use the softphone IP communicator to actually we'll have to configure this. This one's not configured yet, and then we'll apply voicemail and test it out, and all that fun stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is under Advanced Features, there's this Voicemail tab, and these are the options we'll configure. And to start off, we'll start with the message waiting, and this is where, as you can see, there's none right now. So we'll create a new one, and we're going to create extensions to turn message waiting indicator on and off. So for this, let's just use, we'll say 5501 partition. That's what I was saying, you would set this if you already had that created. Same with the calling cert space. And you'll use the message waiting, change the message indicator on. We can say MWI on and hit save. And then we'll click on add new, add 5502, and this one will be message waiting indicator off, and we'll hit save. Then if we go back to our list, we can see we've got the extensions for on and off. The next thing we'll do is we'll go back to the voicemail, and we can either configure each port manually or go through the configuration wizard. And in here you can create an unlimited number of voicemail ports. As far as if Unity Connection will let you use that many is based on the licenses, and with the demo license you get 2 ports. So we'll just go ahead and go to the wizard, because this will talk us through the steps and what they are. So for adding the new ports, we can use this the same, and I'll copy that because I'll use it later in Unity Connection. And we'll just hit next. And how many ports do you want? And we'll say 2, because that's the max we can actually use. See here, it's, I guess, not unlimited. You can use up to 250, but again, that's all based on licenses. And running Unity Connection on VMware, you get 2. So we'll hit next, And then for the description, we can just say voicemail, device pool, default. Again, the calling search spaces we have not created, so we'll leave those in the none calling search space and partition. Let's see, we'll use the standard default location and for now non-secure. And there actually isn't a partition on here. These are just the calling search spaces, but nevertheless, we'll click on next. And then the beginning directory number that you're going to use for the voicemail, and in this case we'll say like 5601, partitions none, calling search spaces none, and we can just leave these as the defaults and hit next. And then as far as adding the hunt or line groups, we'll add those later, which will be the next step. So we'll hit next. And then here you can see it created 5601 to 5602. And we'll hit finish. Alright, and then you can see it successfully created these. And if we go back to our voicemail ports page, hit find, we can now see that these extensions have been created. They're not yet registered yet because we haven't set up Unity Connection, but you can see these are all set, ready to go. So now we'll go over to call routing, route hunt, and we'll create a line group. And as again, there's currently no line group, so we'll hit add new. And for the name, we can just type in VM group. If I can type. Distribution algorithm, we can usually say top down, and then we'll go through and find the extensions that were just created. So we got the 5601 and 2, add those to the line group, and then hit save. And now that that's created, we'll go back up to the route hunt and we'll create a hunt list. And again, there's no list created yet, so we'll hit add new. And you can give it any type of name you want. We can just call this one voicemail hunt. And this one will flag as for voicemail. So that way you know it's not like a normal hunt group. And then in here we'll add our line group that we created, which is the VM group. Hit save. And you can go down, you see we have our hunt group in the list. So we'll save that. And now we just need to create our pilot number. So we'll go back here and create the hunt pilot. Again, there's no pilot, so we'll add a new one. And the pilot number we can make 5600. And let's see, we don't need to provide outside dial tone. The hunt list we're going to use is the voicemail hunt that we created. And they're really, since this is just going over to Unity Connection, we don't really need to worry about any of these other settings. So that looks good, and we'll hit save. And then the last thing we need to do is, again under the voicemail settings, is create the voicemail pilot and the voicemail profile. Now the voicemail pilot is going to be it's going to be the same as the hunt number. So we said it was 5600. We don't have any calling search space, and we'll just go ahead and save that. And what that does is on your on the IP phones here, this voicemail button, this is what tells the phone what extension this button goes to. So when I click on this, it's going to go to 5600, which is in turn is that hunt group that it's going to connect to Unity Connection. So then the very last thing here is under voicemail to go to the voicemail profile. We'll hit add new, and we can just call this default voicemail, and the pilot is going to be the 5600. What this does is when you're setting the line configuration for the phone, it's going to, you'll say, after so many rings, go to voicemail, or if you're busy, go to voicemail, and you're going to select a profile, and this profile links, basically tells the call manager where to send the call when it's referencing voicemail. So in this case, it's 5600. So with that saved, we're pretty much done, and we can apply this to a phone. So one phone that hasn't been created yet is a soft phone, and I believe, let's see, this one should be line 1 CIPC. So let's create this real quick, and we'll give it an extension. So we'll go to phone, add new, and this is a Cisco IP communicator. We can use skinny. And then for the device name, it's usually the MAC address, but in this case we use the line 1 CIPC, and then we'll say this is a soft phone. Again, this is very basic. We're not using any type of security or calling search spaces or partitions, so we'll just go through here. Most of them you can leave at defaults. Give it the standard standard non-secure profile, and that's pretty much it. We can turn on the video capabilities for CUVA, so we can integrate it with a webcam, and then we'll add a new line here, and we'll make this one 2009. And the voicemail profile here, we'll choose the default voicemail. That's the one that we just created. And then down here we can say, let's go to check these. So automatically, the forward no answer automatically checks these. And then we can say the no ring answer, we'll shorten it for this. We'll change it to 10 seconds so that our test calls, we don't have to wait 30 seconds. And we'll hit save, and we should be all set now. If we go back, let's restart the phone. On a real phone, what we do is if you go to settings, hit star star pound star star, that would reset it. So now you can see that it's registered. We have the extension, and if I refresh this page, we can now see that it's registered. So let's go over to Unity Connection. And we'll log in here. Might have mistyped. I did. Okay, I must have been sitting on this too long. Let's get a fresh connection here. Okay. Alright, and actually I had to switch to Firefox here because I'm having some issues here with Internet Explorer. I get this kind of stuff all the time on other sites too, so it works fine in Internet Explorer, but for whatever case on my machine right now, I can only get it to work in Firefox, so that's what we'll use. So now that we're logged into Unity Connection, this is the appliance. Again, this is the appliance version, and when we scroll down here, we're going to go under the Telephony Integrations, and under Phone System, it has a default phone system. We can add our own. I mean, this part really doesn't matter what you want to call it, but we'll hit Save, and then it will give you a bunch of other additional options that you can configure. Which we won't go into all the advanced ones. We're just going to do a very basic setup. So now that we have the phone system created, we'll go to the phone group, create a new phone group, and then this is where you can choose if you want skinny or SIP. And we've got our CUCM phone system already selected here. The display name, we can have whatever you want, but the device name prefix is the one that we used earlier, and we want this to match exactly what's on the call manager. So it was VI1. Message waiting indicator was 5501 and 5502. And then the IP 192.168.20.5. This is the call manager address, and I'll just leave it on skinny and default port 2000. Hit save, and it will remind you that you need to create ports once this is created. Phone system cannot take calls if it has no ports, so we can go down to ports, add new, and we'll say there are 2 ports. I'll add it to this port group. This you can select if you want to answer calls, perform message waiting notification. For this example, just leave them all checked. We'll have it do everything. Hit save. Wait for it to finish here. Alright, so now we have our all of our connections, or our ports, I mean. And if you click on these, you can see the... Oops. Can you see the problem already? I put a 1 in there. I probably should just put a VI, because this needs to match what's on Call Manager. So if we flip back to Call Manager here, so I'm losing my train of thought here. Under voicemail and voicemail ports, these ports names, device names here, need to match in order to register. So let's go back to the ports, delete those. We'll try it again. We'll say 2 ports. We'll go back to port group, and this one will change to the prefixes CUCM VI. Hit save, and then we'll go back to port, add new. We'll say 2 ports, save, and now when we go into these, it should match. Yeah, Cisco UM1-VI1, and the other one should be 2, which it is, and that matches what's in Call Manager. And see, now you can see these ports and extensions are now registered with 10.10.10.50, which is Unity. And then what we can do is, on this phone, we created extension 2009. So we can go up to users here. We'll add new. And alias, we could just say, let's see, I was going to say YouTube, but this one will say, I don't know, VMware, and then the name, first and last name. This display name is what the text-to-speech engine will read, so you can type in anything you want here and it will actually read it. I was goofing around with that before on some of my other videos, but this is extension 2009, and we'll hit save. Once you hit save, you'll actually get a lot of additional options as well. Alright, so now that that's created, this voicemail is ready to go. Let me see if we pull up Unity here. Oh, another thing actually, let's go to edit and we'll go to the password settings. And let's see, change password. And here you can select the web application or voicemail. In this case, we're going to say voicemail. And we'll just create a password here. Alright, password updated. So now if we go back to our phone, see if I can turn this up so you can hear. And okay, should be good there. Now we'll hit the voicemail. And I don't know if you can hear that or not. Let me see. Oops. Doesn't look like it's going to work with my headset. I don't think you'll be able to hear this. One second here. Alright, so since I couldn't get the audio to work through CIPC, I thought I'd show you real quick on the hard phones. So with the voicemail profile we set up, or pilot, I should say, we can hit this button.
Enter your PIN followed by pound.
And we put in the PIN that we set up in Unity Connection.
Welcome to Cisco Unity Connection. Please take a moment to personalize or update your settings.
Now,
to exit, press star.
The first time that you do this,
a recorded name identifies you to other callers.
The first time you go through, it's going to go through that tutorial, have you set up your greeting and all that. That's the one-time thing. But then the other thing is when you call the extension, see 2002.
Sorry, YouTube Watcher is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options. To send this message, press 1. If you would like to try an extension, you may do so now.
So that's leaving a message, and then like I was saying with the calling search spaces and partitions for message waiting indicator, one example would be if I just dial the extension. See, I can turn on the message waiting indicator on this phone, and I can turn it off with an extension too. So normally you probably wouldn't want that, but that's the way you would restrict the calling search page just between Unity Connection and Call Manager. But anyway, that is Unity Connection and Call Manager in one, or integration. So thanks for watching.